My name is Pat Pickard, and I'm a professor in the School of Human Kinetics here at Laurentian University. I grew up in New Brunswick, went to UNB, then I went out west and taught for a couple of years, and it's a story that I always tell people because one of my professors at Western said, "You got a really good job offer at Laurentian," and I said, "It's north of Montreal, I think. That's where the Laurentian Mountains are, and I don't speak French." And he said, "No, it's in Sudbury." And I said, "Well, that's worse," because I'd driven through Sudbury from Winnipeg to the Maritimes. But it was a really good opportunity, so I thought, I'll come for 1 year. I'll come up to Sudbury for a year, and then I'll go back to the Maritimes. That was in 1967. The university really only started in 1960, so they had developed the men's athletic program, and they hadn't really done all that much with the women. And so that was the same year they started the School of Human Kinetics, except it was called the School of Physical and Health Education in those days. So 2 of us were hired initially to teach in the school, and then I was also, as part of my job, was to try and develop the women's athletic program. It was totally exciting, and again, I mean, I've always considered myself extremely lucky because once you start an athletic program, then you have to become a member of an association. And in those days, it was the Ontario Women's Athletic Association, and I didn't know anybody. I did know one person at Western because I had been there. She was the volleyball coach, but I didn't know any of the female athletic directors or anybody, so I just, in those days, you didn't have emails or Facebook or anything like that, so you're on the phone or trying to talk to some people about going to meetings and getting organized and stuff, and everybody was really receptive, considering that here we're looking at Sudbury in those days, which was 5.5 hours north of Toronto, and you want to join an association, which means that teams are going to have to add money to their budgets to come to Laurentian University. It's not like going from Waterloo to Guelph or Mac to Toronto or that kind of thing. And there was never any doubt that we would be part of the association. Basically, the early foundations were much like a lot of other universities across Canada, because in the late 60s, physical education programs in Canada were designed to develop teachers to teach in the elementary and secondary schools in each province. And so the primary focus initially was with students who would have a 4-year degree in physical and health education with a background that would prepare them for a 1-year teacher's college down the road to go in and teach in the elementary and secondary schools. We now have 6 programs in the school. Before we had like 1 program, and then we had 2 or 3, and now we have 6. And each one has kind of a focal point. And we still have one of the programs that primarily is designed for those people who want to go into concurrent education. Most of them will stay here at Laurentian. A few will go away to Teachers College, but most of them that are in our sport and physical education program will stay here at Laurentian and do the concurrent education. I mean, it's going to be exciting to have the 50th reunion and just visiting with everybody and that kind of stuff. Our graduating class now is about 125, 130 on any given year. Our first graduating class was 7. 2 have deceased. 5 of the ones are coming back to the reunion. So that, I think, was pretty exciting. There's not a day that I say I don't want to go to work. If I wasn't happy coming on this campus and visiting with people, then it would be, then I would retire.